In a previous video, I had showed you how to take this thing apart. I had thought that I would put more videos together, but yeah, this is the painting and reassembling video. So here you can see I'm just putting together the parts that I'm going to spray paint. And unfortunately, I didn't do much research on how to spray paint plastic parts, and you'll see that it didn't quite work in my favor. Here I'm showing you the paint that I used, so it's mostly Rust-Oleum, and then I just used the can of Kilts that I had sitting around. And I took the controller to Home Depot and, just made sure that everything matched. Nothing crazy. Now this is the top of the controller before I reassembled it. You can see that there's what looks like scratching, but I'm convinced that I didn't let the paint dry enough before I put my second coat on. You'll also see that I'm getting this kind of wrinkliness to my paint jobs, and I think it's just because I held the spray paint too close. And again, I probably did the same thing with the buttons. I probably didn't wait long enough. So what's handy is when you put it back together, there are these little, lips, I guess, that fit into certain spots in the controller. So it's pretty much foolproof. It was an ingenious design. Now I'm just putting back the rubber contacts, and it's not rocket science. Again, the design on this was brilliant. I'm unsure why, but I had some trouble putting the rubber pieces back on. They weren't really going down, and I didn't want to force it too much with my hand. So I just kind of tapped it with a popsicle stick, and that got it back on the post that it's supposed to stay on. Here I've reassembled the joystick, and I'm just making sure that it feels right and that it's not going to pop open, basically. This is the easiest part. It's so awesome. This thing just fits right in. You don't need to screw it in or anything. It's awesome. So here I'm affixing the two screws on the inside. That's the only thing that connects those parts to the outside of the controller. Here I'm just messing around with my wire placement. It's probably the most challenging thing about these because you have to get the wire placed in a specific way, otherwise the controller won't close. And the first time I did this, I had a lot of trouble with it. So now I'm putting back the bumpers and I'm putting back the bumper contacts. It's really handy. It's so hard to screw up. Not only are they colored, but they also have little dimples that go into holes on the sensor. So it's really, really easy to reassemble these. And I thought that the first time I opened up one of these things, I thought it would be hard for me to do, but it's actually really easy. So here I'm pointing out that the bumper buttons have basically just a little pole on them, and they go into, I don't know what to call it really, a little ring, and that's what makes them work. So here again, I'm just futzing around with that wire, trying to put it in as far as I can to make sure that the thing closes when I put the back on it. And I start to use my trusty popsicle stick thing again. Now I could have repainted this, but I decided since it's only for my personal use, I'm not going to bother. And here I'm just reassembling it. And that's what it looks like. This design was influenced by the prototype design for what was then Ultra 64. So you can still see a little bit of the wrinkling, but the keys work fine, the joystick works fine, and I think for a first attempt that I did pretty well.